Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's special on the sofa. So we've got a memories and anything else you want to talk about related to football, really. In the comments, I have put in a link. So if you would actually like to come and join us and relate your memory or the occasion or your first game or anything to do with football, really, just let us know and I will pop you on. Okay. So, Vic, you have some news to go through first, haven't you?
SAS Travel, of course, and we say thank you very much indeed to the good people of SAS. And it strikes me that we're coming to the end of 2024, and of course we lost Mark Waters in 2024, who used to run it so brilliantly. And also, you'll have noticed Andy Rowland on the start of this program, and we lost Andy as well. So both of those great losses to Swindon Town Football Club. So we missed them. Right, the SAS news. Newport County is the 24th of January, 25. Seems odd to say that, doesn't it? On Friday, that is. Departs the county ground at 4:30. It is, of course, an evening kickoff. So that's why the departure is at 4:30 from from the county ground, and it's from West Swindon at 16:40. So I guess the bus is going out a different way to Newport. Members are £16, non-members £18. It's available during the club shop opening hours, not open for evening telephone bookings. They'll answer or return calls during shop opening hours. Notts County sold out for Saturday, leaves West Swindon at 6:30 a.m. and the county ground at 7:00 a.m. So that's what it means on Saturday. And don't forget, on Wednesday, the 1st of January, the club shop is open between 11 and 3 o'clock. The game kicks off, and then it will reopen after the game until 5:30. It's also open on the 2nd of January 25, 10 till 4. And then on Friday, the 3rd of January 25, 10 till 4. So there you are. And I believe Newport tickets are on sale shortly.
They are. They're on sale tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock to season ticket holders, one per season ticket. So if you want to get your Newport tickets, then you may do so. We've had a request from the Community Foundation that they are collecting again the football boots, pre-loved football boots, to go out to Livingstone and Zambia. So if anybody has any football boots that they've replaced with Christmas presents and things, you can drop them off at Foundation Park at any time they're open, or we are collecting in the Legends Lounge at our table on match days. So we will have a bag or a box there, and then they will be transported over to Foundation Park at the end of the game.
Yeah, very good.
So if anybody has any boots that they no longer need, clear your cupboards out, declutter, whatever, then they will be very, very welcome by the Community Foundation. Right, so we are talking about memories today, but what I will do is just revert back a minute. Evening, Sean. Sean's just brought up the issue with the statue and the surrounding stones of lifting. Now, we've been asked if we can pass this on to the club, but the trust who have organised it, not the club, so they are already on it. The contractor is coming down in the new year to redo it. I believe the term is snagging, when you've done something and then you come and put everything right that's not quite right. So they will be down in the new year to fix that. So that's under control and should be sorted. I am not a grounds person or whatever it is, so I don't know why it's happened or whatever, but it has, and it will be sorted. So let's put that one to bed. Okay, so Vic, do you want to start up with your memories, or should we get John on, shall we? And we'll do his memories.
Well, we'll do John in a moment, because he's very critical of people's background. So we've given him a few extra minutes to produce a background for John Stevens Oop North, and we'll see what he can come up with. So I think it's only fair. But we were contacted by Jo Archer last night, and she sent a rather lovely piece in, which we're going to sort of flip-flop, aren't we, Chris? It really sort of it talks about what it means to be a football fan. So I'll do the first paragraph, you do the second, etc., etc. So this is from Joe. I haven't been a Town fan all my life. I've been going to the Town games for the last few seasons.
I have had personal struggles with mental health and losing both my parents and in-laws in such a short space of time.
No matter what the state of the football is, the ownership, the problems, my STFC and EFL2 family have always come through for me, supporting me in other ways friends of 10 years plus haven't done.
If there is one massive lesson I have learnt, it's that no matter who you support, no matter what the ag on the game day, all we have is universal connection through football and through our club.
And I just wanted to say thank you to each and every one of my football friends and family for the pure love and support. It's meant more to me than you will ever know. And I think that's the thing, Chris, isn't it? It's not just about the football. It's about the people you meet, the friendships that you have throughout your life, really, through this game of ours. Yeah. And I mentioned Mark Waters, and goodness me, you know, I wouldn't have met Mark if it hadn't been through football. It's as simple as that. And all the people that I go to football with, I wouldn't have met if I'd not gone to football. And so your life is a lot less rich than it is now if you'd done that, if you hadn't done that. So, Joe, thank you very much indeed for that. And I think it sums up what it means to be a football fan. Yeah,
it certainly does. And I echo what Vic says, Joe. I consider myself one of your friends. So thank you for sharing that with us. And it is true. There's a lot of people that I sit by. I've sat in the same seat for 30 odd years. And you grow up with them, really. One of the families that I sit by, father and daughter used to still come. Now the daughter's married and has a little one. And the nephews are now in their in the mid-teens when they were tiny when they used to come. So you grow up with them, and you just, you hold on to that. And then it's the friends. And I actually put a post out about saying about the my football family, because that's how I relate to it, and it grows day by day. And it's funny that no matter what the walks of life are of people, you come to the county ground and you're a football fan. So all different walks of life, people you would never meet through your occupations or anything like that, you meet at football, and they become friends and family. So yeah.
They do. They do. So if you want to tell us about relationship that you've forged throughout the course of your football watching lives, then please get in touch and let us know, because they're extremely valuable. And they're the people that you wouldn't see outside of the game. You go along on a Saturday, you sit with them, and that's it. You don't see them at any other time. So if you want to get in touch and let us know about the relationships you've got, then please do that. One of them is John Stevens, I think it's fair to say. And is he there? Are we going to see?
There we go.
There he is. Marvellous. How are you, sir?
See my poster?
No, you're in the way.
I can't help that. Well, I'd like
Have you done a bit of redecorating?
For all my criticism of people's backgrounds, they might have got more than 6 minutes' notice.
Oh, there's no excuse.
Picture. I needed half an hour.
Half an hour, right? Okay. Next time we'll give you 3/4 an hour. See what you come up with. Is that all right?
Okay. Yeah, we must admit we did ring a message John, and it literally was about 10 to 7 to say, if you want to come on and share your memories, please do. And we didn't give him enough time to sort his background out.
No.
He's got books, he's got pictures, he's got blinds.
If that's the way you normally operate, then I understand why people aren't that good in their background.
Right, excellent. Right, John, when was your first game?
My first Swindon game was a 1-0 victory against Torquay in 1967. I know that's hard to believe. I mean, I probably look about 60, but my hair's about 40. But prior to that, my family were from Manchester, so I did go to Old Trafford 3 or 4 times a season when they were a proper team with people who were from Manchester. So But the first winning game was 67 when we moved down to Wiltshire.
So that was Boxing Day, I believe, 1967. The crowd was 18,161, and the score was indeed 1-0. Can you remember who scored?
I didn't even know Swindon played in red at that point.
Okay, fair enough. Well, it's a Boxing Day encounter, so how was that?
Well, I think in those days it was just the crowd, wasn't it? It wasn't. You didn't know anything about. Well, I still don't. The technicalities of football, but you recognised a big crowd there. There was a smell. I think you got more in those days than I do now. I don't sit close enough now. But what's that stuff they used to rub on to deep
Evergreen, wintergreen.
Wintergreen.
Yeah.
There was usually a whiff of that, old beer, cigarettes. And that is the memories, is the atmosphere around the pitch rather than on it.
Well, there's a chap I play football with on a Friday night. He still uses that. So I can't bring that smell to you, but it is still being used tonight.
I remember it. So we used to go to Stockport a bit as well, because I used to play on a Friday night. And that was very strong there. When you walked outside the dressing rooms at the back, you could smell it.
So why Swindon then? Why Swindon?
I don't really think I smell men's dressing rooms as a habit, but
well, we have to put up with your boiled eggs.
Outside.
I like to generate my own atmosphere now.
Yeah. The boiled eggs are long suffering. So why Swindon? Is it because your family originated from there? What happened?
No. I say we lived in. Well, I was born in Surrey, but there was no teams where I lived, and I was too young. Moved up to Manchester, where my mum was from, and then moved down. My dad worked in Chippenham, and we moved down in '66. And obviously they were the local team, and thank the Lord he didn't take me to any of the Bristol clubs, because I have an irrational hatred of Bristol City. I just pestered him to take me to a football match, and so he took me to Swindon.
Actually, it was quite a good time to actually start going to watch Swindon, wasn't it? I mean, let's be honest. My first game was in February 1968, and you'll be aware.
Oh, a bit of a latecomer then, Vic.
Yeah. But the following season, of course, was momentous beyond the extreme. So a decent time for you to start watching them.
Yeah, I can't claim. I don't think I was fervent in those days. I remember we were in Melksham when the news came of the League Cup victory in a cafe. And nobody could quite believe it. And and we used to go perhaps 6 times a season until I got into the third or fourth year at school when they did cheap tickets for 15-year-old students. And I used to go with Bodmans from Devizes and went to a lot of the home games then and really started getting into it.
Yeah, you North, obviously.
Yes.
Not far from the two Manchester clubs who aren't really having a great time, are they? I mean, let's be honest. City, what are they doing? But you have a choice of going to see them or, I don't know, Morecambe against Swindon. So what's the do you have to make a choice or do you?
No, not at all. No, in fact, I remember when I lived in the early 90s. I used to go to a game on a Saturday. It didn't matter. I go to Chesterfield, or if I couldn't get to Swindon, or they weren't playing anywhere local. And I started going to Old Trafford, and it was very busy getting in, as it always is. And I couldn't be bothered to queue in the traffic, so I went to Blackpool for an FA Cup game, which I think Dave Bamber was playing. But so that was I wasn't bothered about the quality. United was a great atmosphere. But there were certain things that went on there that was just anti-football, and I just lost interest in them. And my dislike for them now, because I think they were the ones who started this cash is everything role. So I dislike them almost as much as Bristol City. And I like to add, I don't dislike any Bristol City supporters. They're all very, very nice. Just the thing as a whole, I don't like. And when Sale beat their rugby team on Friday, it was a glorious moment.
Excellent. By the way, Exeter got their first win of the season yesterday in rugby, so well done to them. Stay with us, John. Mr. Alan Isles, a very good evening to you.
Good evening, Vic. Good evening, everybody.
Now, talking of backgrounds, would you like to explain what spaceship you're actually in at the minute?
Yeah, the spaceship's called my car, and I'm just in a random car park in Bournemouth. such was the advance notice that I got for the request to attend this evening. So
You got a bit more notice than John did. Give me a bit of credit.
I got paper.
My man's to put a picture up.
It didn't give me very many options, I'm afraid. So no, as usual, I'm out and about. So I'm in a dark corner of a car park in Bournemouth.
Oh, well, be careful out there. I mean, what was your first game?
I think it was 73-74 season. So I was 6 at that time, taken by my father. For some reason, I think it was Cardiff, but I can't be certain, and I haven't sort of looked back at that season. So we might not have played in that season for all I know, but it was definitely somebody in blue. I just remember it was a classic red against blue, which was a good start. So luckily it was my father that took me to my first game and not my mother, because she's from just up the A420.
Oh no!
And a supporter of said club. So as you know, Barbara, that comes with me, is my sister. She's a Swindon fan. I do have another sister who is of the other persuasion. So it's a little bit mixed up in places, but father got 2 offspring on the Swindon side and mother got 1. Randomly, we do have another brother. He's a West Ham fan. I'm not sure where that comes from, but sums him up a treat, to be fair.
So what happens at Christmas then? Do you get into big arguments or is it okay?
No, it's all very sort of sensible. Always has been very sensible, with just a mutual dislike for each other. Yeah. It's been interesting. Let's put it that way, because certainly the earlier years, Swindon had the upper hand by a country mile. It was often 3-0, 3-1 was quite a regular scoreline, but obviously the last 20-25 years has flipped around a bit, unfortunately.
Well, of course, they've cemented Plymouth a place at the foot of the Championship yesterday, which leaves Wayne Rooney in a little difficult position, I suggest. Many people around where I live are very happy about that particular.
I would have been on against any other team, but yesterday they were welcome to 3 points.
Not only are you a Swindon fan, but you're a bit like me. Whenever Swindon aren't playing, like on Saturday, I went to watch Willand against Helston for no other reason. It's nice to go and see a non-league game where everybody's friendly. One player got sent off, but we'll gloss over that. But they're all very friendly. They all talk to you and all that kind of stuff. So what got your interest in non-league football?
Purely COVID, when we couldn't go to the county ground to watch football, and watching the football on the TV at the time was so sterile. It was a horrible watch. So living in Wiltshire, whichever stage 2 or whatever category it was, meant that we could go to non-league football matches. So at that point, it was just meant I could go and watch live football with at least some atmosphere. And actually, the atmosphere was quite good, because I think the teams were probably more supported then than they would otherwise have been, because there were people like me, like you, thinking, this will do, we'll get out some fresh air, we can watch some football. So we were able to go anywhere in Wiltshire. We could go into Somerset as well, because they were the same grade of category. Up until that, I just didn't watch any non-league football at all. But
John's broken his phone, by the way. The point is, we're at Nottingham, as you know, on Saturday. It's a 12:30 kickoff. I kind of might hazard a guess that you might be looking for, I don't know, Brighouse Colliery's Fair against somebody's reserve. Would that be right?
Well, I have had a look. I've been asked to do a music bingo night for charity, and I'm very limited for Saturday evenings that are available. So that means I can get back and run that evening. So I will be entertained in another way. But yes, prior to that gig being offered and accepted, I was looking at the fixtures that are in and around there. So for Crewe, beginning of the season, as soon as that game finished, we left and we went to watch Nantwich play, because that's not too far away.
What is it about it? What is it about football? We were saying earlier, Joe Archer sent in a lovely message about what football means to her. What is it, do you think?
Well, obviously, you've got to love football to start with, but actually watching those games, sometimes there is not more than one man and a dog. Depends which level you're at. But you can, I have no skin in the games. I can watch it far more objectively than I can any of Swindon's games. You can hear what all the players are saying, what the referees and the officials are saying, what the coaches are shouting. So you can you can hear a lot more. You can get a lot more involved in the game without bother you. It doesn't matter what the result is. I can come away, enjoying the football or thinking, well, that was a load of rubbish. It doesn't really matter. Other than that, once it's watched, back in the car, it doesn't really matter from that. It doesn't bother me for the until Swindon play again. If we've played badly, that bothers me until we play again, and I can try and erase the bad memory. And I have to say, of late, there's been quite a few of those. So
Yes.
It is just that. Yeah. It's the enjoyment of football, but to watch it more objectively. It's good fun. And like I say, everybody's so friendly. And on the way into Stourbridge on Saturday, which is where I went to, and the chaps on the gate is, what's your pin badge? Where are you from? I said to Swindon Town. He said, I'm thinking of going to Bromley tomorrow to watch that, to tick that one off. I said, well, good luck, because it's sold out. So separate issue, but there is that. Everybody talks to you, whether it's the person on the gate or somebody telling you your half-time draw ticket, program seller, whatever it is, whoever's there, they're all looking to stop and have a chat. Because they don't they don't know where you're from, they don't recognise you, so you must be either from the away team or you're ground hopping, as it's called.
Yeah, and the chap who did the car park on Saturday told me all about his granddaughter, because she went by in her car and peeped her horn and all that kind of stuff. So lovely family story from him, bless him, and he parked my car nicely. I mean, John, that's the whole point of it, isn't it? We josh about with you when you turn up with your boiled eggs, but that's kind of part of it, isn't it? That banter, that knocking about.
It's absolutely part of it. I was just going on this non-league side. I've started going now. There's a team around here called West Didsbury and Chorlton, who got into the last 8 of the FA Vars. Quarterfinals of the FA Vars last year. And I'm going up to North Shields on Saturday week to see them play North Shields, funnily enough. And it's they get about 800 or 900 people are going to watch them. It's tier 6, I think. And it's good fun. You can get a drink. I mean, I hasten to add, although I'm trying to give up tonight, you can have a cigarette. The people are very friendly. There's the volunteers that put their effort into it, for a free meat pie, I'd imagine, and that's all. It's just phenomenal. And there's probably about 30 or 40 people go out giving up their day, or portion of their day, to assist their club. And you've got little of the glory, because winning the North West Counties League, it's not a bus stop parade, but it's great. So if I'm saying when Swindon aren't up here, I'll quite happily go and watch them.
Well, I saw a player got a hat-trick on Saturday called Finn Rook, and the third was a beauty. It was an overhead kick into the top corner. Absolutely classic goal. And you think, boy, if you saw that in League Two, you'd be well pleased, Yeah. Longello's goal was good yesterday, but, that was just as good in a way. Well, I'll tell you what, Alan, we're going to let you go before the police come and take you away from the car park in Bournemouth. So are you back in time for New Year's Day?
Yeah. Yes. No panic there at all. So, we'll be back.
And what do you think?
The performances have been a lot more promising of late. And I think that Ollie Holloway has kind of worked out the best players in the best positions, and I think there was a lot of tinkering around to start with and fiddling around with the team and the setup. I think he's pretty much got it sorted now, and the way that he motivates and encourages players, I think that we should be good going forward. I'm quite optimistic now, and hopefully we won't get a debacle against Colchester that we had a few weeks back.
Well, I was going to say, I hope we see an improvement from that dreadful night at that awful soulless stadium with a bit of luck. So, sorry, Colchester fans, but it kind of is. And let's hope we get at least a very good performance, which is what we've seen, in the last 2 or 3 games, haven't we? Alan, thank you very much indeed. Happy New Year, and we'll see you at the County Ground Wednesday, I believe.
Just before can I just quickly give myself a plug? So on Instagram, somebody said to me a couple of years back and said, because I post pictures on my work group of where I've gone out each night, and he said, you're always out these different grounds, you ought to make something of it. So I sort of give it a little bit of thought, and of all the games, the average is about 4 goals a game that you see in a non-league game. So I thought, and I'd seen a lot of games and I hadn't seen a 0-0, so I kind of now on the adventure seeking out a 0-0 in non-league football. In 139 games, I've seen one. So it took 89 games to see the first, and actually the Stourbridge game on Saturday was 50 since that one. So yeah, I've sort of, and then the games that I'm at, if I see a goal, I put 50p per goal in a pot. So when the first 0-0 came about, which was at Portishead, it was Portishead Development, so that was step 9 below Swindon. There was £102 in the kitty, which I donated to a charity of Portishead's choice. And that kitty is built up to just over £200 now. Mostly me. Vicky quite often comes along as well, so she chips into that. So there's another nice kitty. We're not 100% what we'll do with it, whether we go for charity or a bit of sponsorship of a club somehow, or a player in some way. We'll see what happens when we get another 0-0. But if anybody wants to keep an eye on where I'm at and what I'm watching, it's if you go on Instagram and search non-league 0-0, you'll find it. It'll be a bright green logo. Right on that.
Brilliant.
Fantastic. Brilliant.
Yeah. Thank you very much indeed, Alan. And have a great new year. Are you home for New Year, or are you staying there? What are you doing?
No, home.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Before you get carted away by a police officer, we'll let you go. Alan Arse, thank you ever so much, and a happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to everybody. Cheers.
Thanks, Alan. Thanks for your time. Bye-bye.
Are you on Instagram, John?
Say again?
Are you on Instagram?
No. I don't think so. I'm not very good at these modern things.
Very good.
Right, we've got a couple of bits here. So, Pat, Happy New Year from Vic and I. Back to you. Fifey from Falls Rush Inn, wishing us both the very happiest of New Year's. Thanks for everything in 2024. Back to you, Fifey. Wishing you the greatest. And with a comment later on, he's hoping to find his second wife via football. So we might have to do a OSC FA Falls Rush Inn blind date or something. Wow. Something show, something like that. So we'll see. And one other thing, John, if I sing this to you, I do apologise about my singing. Is this a library? Is this a library? Who's that from?
Is that Rob?
Yeah.
He's got no idea, has he? He's got no idea.
It'd be nice to get him marking John's background, actually, if that's possible.
Yeah, that's true.
It wouldn't. Yeah. Those are reasons for that. That would be totally unfair. I've been asking to come on for about 2 years now, and I've been knocked back. And I promise not to swear.
Goodbye. I've always said you can, John. It's been Vic.
Yeah. Probably,
well, yeah. But now you are on. You know you've got to smarten your act up. That's all I can say. Right. This is from Mark Reddle Sharman. Hi, Mark. Tranmere away in the semi-finals of the playoffs in 1993. What a game and atmosphere, and the scenes at the end. Then another 90 minutes at Wembley the following week, beating Leicester City 4-3 to win promotion to the Premier League. Chris, I don't think we'll ever forget those, will we?
No, it was absolutely fantastic. It's one of my best memories as well, seeing the horses come on, and you had it in your mind that, oh my God, there's going to be so much trouble because they invaded the pitch. But it was absolutely fantastic. I've never seen anything like it. Coming home, coming across, swapping scarves and everything. And another funny story, my nephew, who's now 40, my sister actually made the excuse that he was ill so he could go up to Liverpool for the game. And he only got himself on the local news, standing on a barrier, clutching a post with his full voice going. So that was on the local news. So yeah, that wasn't the best of both. It's a waste to
That was
do
a
when
very
you're not
tense
doing
game,
well.
wasn't it, if I remember?
The what? Sorry, John.
It was a very tense game, wasn't it?
It was.
Didn't feel comfortable till very late on.
No, Craig Maskell got a goal, and then we were all thinking, well, possibly this is going to be it.
Yeah.
So you went to that one, did you, John?
Yeah. Also remember the Sheffield United playoff, which I couldn't. It didn't know what the score was. It just got stupid.
Yeah.
The 5-5. It was 5-5, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not sure I enjoyed it or not. It was like, oh my God, you were celebrating when you go 4-0 up in the leg in the tie, and then it all starts going wrong again.
Well, it was crazy, wasn't it?
Accrington, which we should have drawn that. Oh no, they should have got the equaliser right at the end as well.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
They never failed to
They
disappoint you.
They had one cleared off the line, didn't they? Right at the last minute, Accrington in that one, if I remember rightly. Well, Exeter were 4-1 down at half time yesterday, drew 4 each. So football, funny old game, as they used to say.
Well, we remember the Birmingham game, don't we? And I was on the verge of leaving. I don't leave games early. I was on the half time 4-1, or I think it was 4 went to 4-1. I was so annoyed with them. Can I stand this? And then happily I stayed, and it was brilliant. It's the most exciting 45 minutes I've had at football, I think that.
I've got a message here somewhere. It was Glenn Hoddle changed the game, didn't he? If I remember rightly.
Yeah.
He suddenly started moving forward and changed the game completely. Right, we had some memories. Last week was the anniversary, the 18th of December, was the anniversary of the semi-final against Burnley at the Hawthorns. This is from Nigel. The gate was only 20,000, so don't imagine it was sold out. What a night. The euphoria of John Smith's rocket shot for 1-0, the crushing disappointment of the late equaliser, and even worse feeling when Burnley went ahead. But then euphoria again as Town equalised and finally went ahead again. A great time, but even better to follow in the final. I wonder what happened in that. And hello, Peter. Swindon were winning 1-0 with a minute to go. Burnley equalised and then went 2-1 up in the first minute of extra time. I think Smith scored Swindon's third. I drove from Melksham to Birmingham in my A35 with 2 friends. One was Derek Pinchon. Thank you very much. You see, the thing is, Chris, these memories are priceless, aren't they? You remember them all the time.
All the time. We've got one here from Sean. I met my now ex-wife at football. Was in the queue for Brentford. Thousands of Swindon fans turned up. Was that time Brentford got moved out of their seats in the side stand to accommodate our fans. How times have changed as to where our clubs are now. True. Bit of a gap between the two, but yes.
Yeah.
There's a number of clubs in that. You can think of Bournemouth as well, can't you? And Leicester, and where.
Yeah.
Well, even Man City, we used to play on a regular basis, didn't we? Leeds, people like that. We played all those clubs. This is Steve. I wonder if it's the same one. Steve Hall in Australia. Is that the right one, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
Probably the most tense game I've ever been to. This is the Burnley replay. I was behind the goal where Burnley scored 2, and I could see both coming as Rolf Coates, I think, ran down the left wing. One with a minute to go and one in the first minute of extra time. I sat down for a minute, certain we'd thrown it away, then got up to watch a storm back. I still have my handwritten journal describing the game. That's magnificent, isn't it, John? All these years later.
I remember Ralph Coates who had his hair trailing behind him, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he had those comb over, didn't he? He's a great player. Really good player, though.
Very good. They've had some good players at Burnley back in those sort of, early 70s.
Well, there's Steve Kingdom, people like that. Dave Thomas, wonderful footballers. Brilliant match. Went up from Chelford Stroud on a minibus as 15-year-old. Was shot when Burnley equalised just before full time, before going ahead a few minutes into extra time, then scoring 2 goals for victory. Very emotional. And then, of course, Chris. There's the Birmingham one. Is from Mark. I knew I had it here. Arsenal at home in the League Cup quarter-final in 79. The Birmingham game in 93, 4-1 down, 1-6-4, and the Leicester playoff win in 93. Fantastic memories. I mean, what can you say?
Well, this is it. And I've got one here from Darren. Arsenal away, 1-1 home to Arsenal, 4-3 away at Mansfield to win the league, away to Blackburn playoffs, Foley Screamer, Leicester at Wembley, just a few memories. It's just, there's just so many of them, isn't there? It's the Leicester playoffs. My family are all from sort of Corby, Northamptonshire, Leicestershire, and my cousin was a Leicester fan, so we had it that whoever lost rang the other one after the game, because you don't want to boast, so it wouldn't be the other way round. But yeah, it's all that kind of thing. You've just all the banter and everything like that, but it brings families together as well, doesn't it? So even if you're on the other side, that but yeah.
Well, apart from those,
a long time ago, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I mean, apart from those with yellow shirts on, we
yes, true.
Draw
That's
the
true.
line possibly there. I went to Town 8, Bury 0. A week later, we beat Torquay United 4-3 in the FA Cup thriller. Then I went to Luton to see Town 2-0. Then the Spurs here 2-0, and then lost the replay 2-1.
Was that the Calderwood shot from the free kick from the halfway line?
What, Port Vale? No, that was in a
Vale.
league match, if I remember rightly.
Okay.
And the Bury game, wasn't that at the Rowlands and Mays show, wasn't it, for the AGL?
Ripped them to pieces, yeah. And it was 1-1 between Arsenal and Swindon on the Tuesday before, 8-0 against Bury on the Saturday, 4-3 against Arsenal the following Tuesday.
Funny enough, the aforementioned West Didsbury and Chorlton are playing Bury in an all-ticket game on Saturday in the North West Counties League. But they've had to make it all-ticket because Bury they get better crowds now in the level they are.
And they did when they were in the league.
Are they playing at Gig Lane still?
Say again?
Are they playing at Gig Lane?
Yeah, they are back there now, apparently. Yeah, they're back there.
Yeah. Okay, that's God, lots of them. First game, Swindon 3, Sheffield United 2. Second game, Swindon 8, Bury 0. Third game, long in my memory, Swindon 4, Arsenal 3. Lots of them coming in now, Chris, aren't there?
There's loads. And we'll say again, there is a link in the comments column. If you do actually want to come on and relate it live, please do so. We'd love you to join us on here. So, yeah.
If you want to criticise the background,
we've already done that, John. Yeah.
So from Pat, my first game was around 1990. It was a game under the lights, and we stood on the bank. That's where I stood, right in the corner of the bank. I thought it was Newcastle, but my old man argues it was against Leeds. Swindon won 3-2. So, and Sean says he thinks it's Leeds. So yes, I think, Pat, you might be wrong. It might be Leeds.
Another thing I can remember is going to postpone games. And I remember going to Birmingham, and it was called off because the floodlights didn't work.
Right.
Stockport because somebody had driven a crane on the pitch. And obviously Bolton League Cup semi-final.
Yeah.
Wet, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was chucking it down. Yeah. I got to Birmingham and then had to turn around. They played it a week later, if I remember rightly.
Stockport had a 6-mile drive. Obviously, Vic, you had a significantly further to go before they called it off.
Yes. I remember that Bolton game, we were doing really well. And then Jan Arge Fjortov went and scored and woke them up.
Yeah, upset them. Rightly.
Yeah. We'd have won that. We'd have gone through comfortably, I think, if we'd not scored by Jan Arge. But you can't complain, can you? Hi, Emma. Swindon versus Wigan in the FA Cup when Swindon knocked them out. Before the following season, Wigan won the FA Cup. In fact, Swindon were the last team to beat Wigan for ages in the FA Cup, weren't they? And say hi to Aidan and Summer for me, would you, Emma? Hi, Tony. I can't remember the date or exact game, but some players, Arnold Darcy, Morris Owen, Sam Burton, Broccoli Lane, etc. Bronco Lane, I think that is.
I like Broccoli Lane better.
Yeah. Spell check. I guess about 1959 or 60. I do remember one match against the Biscuit Men from Reading when Sam Burton seemed to help the ball into the net through his open legs. Elm Park. That was a ground, wasn't it? Goodness me.
Gosh, yeah, wasn't it just?
Yeah. We got any more?
One from Nick, not really in memory, he was saying about the joy of being in League Two is it makes keeping up with the grounds of the new teams of the 92. And currently missing Tottenham, Rotherham and Hull. However, with our cup record, that's going to be hundreds of years. Oh, you never know, Nick. Think positively.
I think he knows.
Well, yeah. Hi, Sean. Remember Bolton in the League Cup? 4 matches. Yes. 1-1, 1-1, 1-1, and then 2-1. I think with Andy Roden scoring. Oh, was it Ross McLaren scoring the last minute of extra time, if I remember rightly? Also, Town beating Wigan in the FA Cup, then winning goal scorer Paul Benson gave me a shirt at pitchside. Still got the mud marks on his chest. Now, we've been trying to track down Paul Benson, haven't we? Because we'd love to get him on the soap. Yeah.
We have.
So-
I've tried various avenues. So if anybody does know how to get hold of him, please let us know.
Because you remember Matt Ritchie hit an absolute screamer, and it was thought that Matt Ritchie scored it to begin with, but Benson just got a touch and diverted it into the net. What a win. What a night. That was a fabulous win. What a great player, Paul Benson. Much underrated. Yes, he was. I left at half-time once, and that was against Boston United away in the FA Cup replay, mid-thousands. The game finished 4-1. What's the worst game you remember going to, John? I mean, let's be honest. We've been spoilt for choice recently. But what?
Yeah, well,
what's the worst one?
30 for the last 2 seasons. Worst. God, there's been so many that for obviously just don't stick out. You just get in the car and go home, and thank God that's over. I think the one I was most I was upset at Bolton in the League Cup semi-final. Wolves, not for the bad game, because the result in the Wolves semi-final was that 79.
Yeah.
That was disappointing. But funny enough, a moment I did enjoy was when Paul Robinson, who was actually on TV last night, when it was him who got the headed goal at Leeds, wasn't it?
It was.
And I thought it was brilliant. I know it didn't go in our favour, but I sort of clapped him back when he came back to our end. I think I was on my own, but I just thought it was superb.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah,
It was right at the end of extra time, wasn't it? It was like right at the death, wasn't it? That
And
one.
we played really well. That I think Parkin got a couple, didn't they?
Yeah.
Although my memory is not what it should be.
Yeah.
But...
Oh. And
Wolves, Chris.
it just says on here, and I totally agree with Kevin here. Can we get these games back? It would be lovely. Yeah, and I think my worst game, and it's only because it's so recent, is the Colchester game. And I actually stood there and I cried because it was just so. I just thought, what is going on? But
was it Colchester last year that was postponed? Was it them? The first
No,
game?
No, this was a 4-0 one.
Yeah,
but
Where we got there,
Yeah.
because of the first game of the season, wasn't it? First game of the season, and it was waterlogged.
My advice would be don't go to Colchester again.
We don't
I've
particularly
driven
want
past
to,
it.
thanks.
It's not something we dream of, I tell you.
No, I can imagine.
I mean, to be fair, the hinterland has improved greatly because there was nothing there when they first built the
There was
stadium. Was there?
nothing. Yeah,
But
there
they've got
was.
stuff
Yeah.
Well,
stuff going on there. And there's a bowling alley. No, there's quite a few.
There's
restaurants
a
and
lot of.
stuff.
There's a bowling place now and all sorts, isn't there? Restaurants and everything. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I can't remember what there was around Layer Road, though. Was there a lot around there?
nothing.
I don't-
It's a housing
Nothing.
estate. Yeah, one toilet. I just remember.
Yeah.
Talking of one toilet, Chris. What about yesterday?
No. Oh, yesterday at Bromley, goodness me, one lady's toilet that was of hardboard, and it was hard to close the door, and then it stuck when you opened it because you just had the little latch to pull to actually open it, and it was sticking. But at least there was a window, so I could have shouted out if we got stuck. But yes, it wasn't. Yes, it was one of those grounds that you think, yeah, okay, you're in the league now, up your game a bit.
But
Well,
about... Sorry, can I talk about
No,
something?
go on.
No, carry on.
Bob's complaining that I'm like a library. The grounds I most like going to, and it's probably Accrington.
Yeah,
I love
well,
going
agree.
to Accrington.
yeah, I
Park.
totally agree with you. Yeah, nice people.
Yeah.
And,
Tranmere's always nice as well.
Yeah. Yeah, nice
And of
fish and chip
course-
shop and nice cafe at Tranmere.
Accrington produce these very nice badges of the game, don't they?
Yes, they do.
We've got one for the FA Cup and one for the league. There you go.
And they do the same at Wimbledon.
Wimbledon. In fact, there it is. Yeah, the Wimbledon one. None at Bromley yesterday.
No.
Although they'd sold out, apparently. Yeah.
Ah, right. Okay.
Yeah,
there's,
which is a shame.
Technical question here. If I've been to Plough Lane to see Swindon had a League Cup game there, I remember. Yeah, it was when we got to the semi-final League Cup. I think we played Wimbledon earlier on. And if I've been seeing Wimbledon at Plough Lane, does that mean I've seen Wimbledon at home and I haven't got to go to the ground now?
No.
The new ground.
Well, I kind of count that. I mean, I've been to go see Derby at the baseball ground against Swindon.
So
we haven't played them for about 100 years, have we?
Yeah, I think this is it. This is where the thing about doing the 92 actually comes in, doesn't it? It's like, is it the 92 grounds, or is it seeing Swindon at the away ground of that team play? So I don't know.
Because we've been to the Arsenal at Highbury against Swindon, Tottenham at White Hart Lane.
Yeah.
So we've been there, but not just to the new
stadium.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, John, in that one. I count it as having gone.
Perhaps Rob would have a view on that.
Yeah, Rob, send it in.
Rob, what's your view?
Yeah, was the Virtu Motors a couple of cup wins this season, which I believe there were, but he says it was the group stages of the cup. Didn't count cup wins until Wickham.
Wow.
To be honest, I quite watch on TV, and I quite enjoy those games because it doesn't matter if you get beaten, does it?
What, the Virtu Motor? Well, no, we basically want to win it now. Get to Wembley, don't you?
Virtu, Watney, Windscreen.
Virtu, Bristol Street Motors, Pizza Cup.
Yeah, Papa John Trophy.
Papa John's, whatever they want to call it these days.
I have to say, I've seen Birmingham this season. They're the best team I've seen by a million miles. Really good. By the way, Martin Smithers says, I didn't realise Big John was on tonight. Well, I let into a secret, Martin, nor did Big John.
Is it close from there?
So we've got Chris Brown. Hi, Chris. My first game was at the baseball ground. We've just been talking about that. 2-1 Swindon, last game of the season, 91-92.
That was when we were vying for the playoffs, if I remember rightly. When Hodler was managed, didn't quite get to it, did we? We didn't quite make it that year. We had to win, and then somebody else had to lose, and
I think we lost there because I was at one of the games which we needed to win to go get in the playoffs. I was sat in the Derby end, and I think we lost 3-1, but we scored one right at the end, and I was the only one on that length of the pitch who stood up.
Yeah, I was doing the commentary on it. I can't remember the game how it went, but I just know the disappointment at the end, nearly there, but not. Hi, Adrian. I remember going to Burnley in FA Cup with Swindon Supporters Club, and the coach broke down and we pushed it, and the driver said, jump on, and it was so dangerous, don't know what year. I remember going to Rochdale and the bus kept breaking down on the way back. So I thought I'd get home, I'll go to the chip shop in Highworth, buy some nice chips, and, have a nice relaxing Saturday night when I got home, but that was out the window with a broken down bus. Only old ground I missed out on back in the day was the old showground at Scunthorpe. Well, we went there and lost 6-2 on a Friday night, I seem to remember. And then they moved to that new ground, didn't they? Which is called
Glanville Park.
Glanville Park, absolutely. Fetch your cough, Glanville. Remember Darlington away, Division 4. This was a mad kickoff time, not sure. Not many were there at all. We were totally surrounded. Setup was like in non-league where fans moved to behind the goal. There was only about 12 of us right in the middle of hundreds of them. You see, Deetham's was a strange little ground. That was next to a cricket ground, wasn't it? And a very odd little ground. And then they moved to that George Reynolds Stadium, which was the most ridiculous ground you could ever see. 25,000 capacity.
Darlington Rugby Club took that over in the end.
Yeah.
Got a comment from Derek Hand. First game, 1953. Think it was against Ipswich home, and one of the many memories was the game against QPR when we beat them 5-0, playing in baseball boots on ice.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
62-63. That was revolutionary in those days.
Really? Gosh.
Because if you remember, that was a really well, you probably don't, Chris, you're too young, but that was a really bad winter, and many games were called off. But Swindon's wasn't, and then they managed to beat QPR.
Yeah, still haunts me the winter of '63.
Why?
It doesn't really. Can't remember it.
I loved it. We used to go sledding every day. It was fantastic. Yeah. We got any more? Because there's loads, haven't we?
Oh, yeah. Rob said, if you've been to a game at the ground of the opposition, doesn't matter if they move grounds, you've seen them.
Brilliant.
There you go.
I'm with you. Yeah.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you.
So if you go to Sellers Park, you can count Charlton and Wimbledon and Crystal Palace.
Yes.
Yes,
Didn't see both them there. I've seen Charlton at West Ham as well. So, so I think we drew there and went top of the table that Tuesday night, if I remember rightly.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, did you have any of the other ones that come in yesterday, Rob? Vic, to read, or?
Well, I've got loads, so many.
Have we done Lee's while you're doing that? Lee, hiya Lee, good to see you yesterday, my love. Blackburn playoff home 1990 and Sunderland at Wembley, great memories. There was Sunderland away. Yes, I loved that game. I know the things that happened after it weren't so good, but the Sunderland one was great. And that was the last playoff I went to with my dad. So, and I picked up a Marco I can't say it, Gabbiadini from somebody had dropped it, and I picked that up, and I've still got it.
Good player.
Yeah.
Good player, but he just couldn't score that day because they never got anywhere near the penalty area, I don't think, did they? Hi, Lee. Hi, Vic. This was before my time. Heard loads. This is about the semi-final replay. Heard loads about the League Cup final over the years. Never knew we beat Burnley in the semi. Do you know where I could find the cup run documented? Be great to understand more on how the team progressed round on round. Well, just so happens.
Funny you should say that.
Yeah,
It's a book update I wrote earlier on today.
No, there are loads of videos that I've produced, John, detailing not only the League Cup run, but that season, 68-69, and also the Anglo-Italian Cup. And I'm about to start work on the 69-70 season, which Swindon finished 5th in the league, got to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup against Leeds. The quarterfinals of the FA Cup. Let's just
2-0.
2-0. Alan Smith, 2 in 2 minutes. Yes, just let that sink in. The quarterfinals of the FA Cup. Yeah, so I think you can find those videos on the Supporters Club website, can't you, Chris? They're also on the museum.
Yeah. STFC-OSC.
Is there any film of them or not?
Sorry?
Is there any film of them? Is it narrative or is it actual?
Well, I'm sorry to say that what do you do? I voice it, and there are pictures and stuff like that. So
okay, I'm sure that's fine. You've got a lovely voice.
Thank you. Very kind.
Right, we have a contributor. So I'm just going to bring on. It's Fifey.
Oh, Fifey.
Hello. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Yourself?
Yes, good. Your Christmas tree's gone.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, it was taken down like yesterday.
Hang on, we can have a live review of your background from John. John, go on.
Yeah, no, I haven't prepped it. Sorry, John.
Very, very, very poor.
But, no, I agree. If it helps at all, then literally to hand, I have my little scarf here. That's about all I can offer.
Yeah.
Little bit.
Yeah. Well, we didn't give you much notice either, to be fair, did we? So
to be fair, I literally heard the comment that there was a link in the thing, and I thought, you know what, I'll jump on and wish you both a happy New Year before I go and watch the Newcastle Man United game. So I just wanted to jump on and say happy New Year.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
And to all your fellow Fools Russian gang as well.
Yeah, they appreciate it massively.
What about your first game then?
So it would have been. I want to say it was the Brighton playoff year, but it was a pre-season friendly against Man United's under-19s, I think it was that year. Got absolutely trounced. I think it was 4-0. My dad took me, my older brother. I don't think my younger brother went, but we'd been to see my nan and stuff at the time, and she's like, so I would have been, 12, 13 at the time. She sent us with a little packed lunch to go and sit in as it was just then, just standard, the nationwide stand. And Miglioranzi very quickly became my favourite player on the day because he had a name that no one could pronounce, and he had amazing hair and flashy boots that no one else had. But yeah, hooked from then.
Brazilian, Italian, American.
Yeah.
Stefano
all the
Migliorandi.
nationalities.
He was everybody. Yeah, he was the whole continents of the world. Yeah, actually, he was a guest on here once, wasn't he? He was sitting on his balcony in California
Exactly.
whilst the birds tweeted in the background. And he's like,
I had the privilege in an earlier life of getting to interview him when I was doing stuff for like the Wash Bag when that was around. And I've tried desperately to get him onto Fools since that became a thing, but it's not quite happened yet.
Yeah, he lives in California, doesn't he, Chris? So he would have to. Where else? He's 8 hours behind. Shouldn't have a problem. Could do a midday one. Sean says no Fools Rush In STFC podcast and vlog tonight, Fifey.
I'm not a tyrant boss. I gave the guys the Christmas week off. We did release, however, at lunchtime today, our Christmas Question of Sports special, which we did last year, and the guys really liked it. So I brought it back this year. I've had a helping hand this year to try and make it bigger and better. I mean, I would say so, but if you haven't seen it, it's worth a watch because we've got a couple of, the mystery guest round in the classic game. We've got a couple of really good mystery guests in, and right at the end, not that I don't want you to watch the whole thing, but about 5 minutes before the end, what will become one of the most iconic moments in FRI history happens. And honestly, the rest of the video is just me crying, laughing at the outcome of what's happened. I won't give away because, I would like people to go and watch it. But honestly, it's one of the funniest things that's ever happened.
Excellent. Well, you very kindly invited us over Christmas to be part of one of your Christmas events. But unfortunately, Christmas being Christmas, it was all a bit bonkers.
Yeah.
So, we'd be happy to come on, Chris, wouldn't we, at some point?
Oh, God, yeah, anytime. Yeah, anytime.
Oh, you guys have an open invitation. You're always welcome.
Not that we're pushing ourselves forward, obviously.
And that's associated with you, as tonight. Hop on anytime.
Yeah.
2025, if it pans out in any way like we've got ideas for, then it's going to be another nonsense year, but hopefully it'll be fun, and hopefully things are going to look better on the pitch. So it's when we're just doing normal shows, the same as when you guys are doing your normal shows. Hopefully it's just a bit happier and a bit more positive.
Yeah, we just haven't done a panel after the last few games, and actually we could have done a panel and been quite happy for a minute.
It's typical, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, but
I am here.
I know you're here. Yeah, we haven't forgotten you, John. Honestly,
so needy.
Oh, he wants to come on the panel. Needy. Me. That's all it is. Hi to Jamie. Hi, Jamie. How about memories of games that never happened? Accrington coach indicating to turn into the stadium when the call from the team coach telling us it was off. Snow. Stoke away called off as we approached. So round the roundabout, back on the motorway. Stockport got to the ground, looked through gates and pitch. It didn't look waterlogged. And less said about Colchester, the better. The life of an away fan. We'll never forget that little man in the corner of the Colchester pitch, will we? With his little brush trying to clear the pitch. Brilliant.
It would have took him a week to do the whole lot. But he was trying.
He was trying. Yeah, he was trying. Very trying. I can't remember what we got beat when we went back, didn't we? 3-1, something like that. I can't remember. Yeah. So what's planned then, Fifey, for the next few weeks?
Well, it's busy, isn't it? We obviously we all go back to our regular lives. For those who haven't gone back to work yet, I go back to work on the 2nd. We start doing our full stuff again properly from Friday the 3rd. Notts County is in the balance for me. It would technically be the birthday weekend game. But my lad, as I've said before, isn't really interested in football. So it's trying to convince him that going to see the Robin Hood statue is well worth it. Otherwise, it'll be watching it on Sky Sports Plus.
Whose birthday is it, by the way?
It'll be mine, yeah.
Oh, happy birthday!
Thank you. Yeah, mine's on Tuesday the 7th. So the Notts County game would be the birthday weekend game. And obviously, geographically, it's ideal for me. It's just I need to work on the little one.
Bit of persuasion needed.
You might remember it was when it all started to unravel last season at Notts
County.
Yeah,
we said a lot of times last year, Notts County away was a lot of fun except for the football, and it seemed to derail our entire season. We just never recovered from that one game.
No, we didn't. Right. Well, let's round up because we're coming to the end of our time. And
I just got one thing. Sorry, Vic.
go on. Yeah, go on.
Mike has come up with a suggestion.
I've seen this.
How about a quiz between Vic and me and two of the Fools Rush In?
Oh.
So,
Well, the thing is, if we could sort that out, one, it would be blockbuster viewing, and two, I would need to make sure that one or two particular fools are ready, because I can't let just any of our guys go against you two. We'd get embarrassed.
Yeah, but I'm 69, Fifey, so maybe I can't remember as much as I used to.
Oh, believe me, you remember plenty.
Well, let's just end this up. John, Happy New Year to you.
Thank you
What
all.
do you reckon? What do you reckon out of the next two games? We've got Colchester
before
Tuesday and
these
then
calls
away to
started-
Notts County. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to be happy with 6 points from the 5 games, isn't it? So 2 draws. We've got the win at home. So I think if we can get a point or 4 points in the next 2 games, I'd be more than happy with that.
We'd all be delighted, I think, with that. Yeah.
And as you know, I'm moving back down south again. And I'd hate it if we got relegated and I have to come up here to Altrincham to watch a non-league game.
We'd hate it as well. Yeah. Oh, God. And Bromley was an experience that, yes, gave us an indication. Fifey, what do you think?
Well, I've been uncharacteristically, at least I would say, the negative one in our WhatsApp chat about the festive games so far. I've described it as thrown points away in one and not tried to get the points in the other. So I've come away a bit disappointed with 2. However, I don't know why. I actually think we will beat Colchester. I think we win that. Notts County, I'm not so sure. So I'll say we obviously need 6. I'd be very happy with 4. I think we'll get 3.
And of course, it'll be the traditional wind tunnel on News Day, won't it? When
yeah, everyone's favourite.
Those of us who have to do stuff on the pitch are really looking forward to it. And
Yeah,
I don't
right.
think there's any apples at half time. The apple race.
no, but my little flag bearers might be taken off, but hey.
It'll be nasty. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd like a win at home, just because I'd like a win at home, and a draw at Notts County. There you go. I was right at Wimbledon. I said I'd go for a 1-0 for us, but I'd be okay with a 1 each draw. So
Yeah, I'd take 3 points on Wednesday and 1 point on Saturday.
I think that's my view. Yeah.
Yes, and don't forget, it leaves the bus leaves the county ground at 7:00 a.m. Those of us who live
That's nasty as well with these early kickoffs.
It's dark. It's horrible. It's dark and horrible.
Football is nothing without the fans, Fifey.
I could not agree more. Never a truer word said.
But I'm not going to be at Notts County either.
Well, some of us have to leave at 4:45 on Saturday morning, so
It's a long way up
don't feel
from
sorry for me. It's all right. Don't worry.
I always feel sorry for you when I see the missions you've gone on and the effort you go to. I mean, I'm sat here saying Notts County's in the balance, knowing full well the hours you're going to be leaving to get there, and it's literally like the next city over for me.
Yeah, bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Well, it's a nice anniversary present for Mrs. M tomorrow to go to Notts County on Saturday for,
Oh, happy anniversary.
Thank you very much. Yeah, lovely. Well, I think that's been all right, Chris. I've enjoyed that. It's been good fun.
That has been absolutely fantastic. Thank you, everybody, for their contributions. Thank you, John. Thank you, Fifey. Thank you, Alan. Been brilliant. I think we should do more of these, just getting everybody to just pop on and say what they can. So just have a laugh.
Yeah, because we've had a lot of doom and gloom, and quite rightly too, recently. But sometimes you've got to enjoy what football's about. As we said from Joe right at the start, it's about the friendships and the people that you meet during football matches that you wouldn't necessarily meet. I mean, John Stevens, for instance, him and his 2 boiled eggs in a game, I would never have known anything about it until the smell wafts up from the row below.
I recommend the Tesco's meal deal.
No, other supermarkets are available.
You can, but not with a boiled egg. No. Brilliant. Oh, thanks ever so much, everybody, for watching, for all your contributions. We will be back next Monday. We'll update you on socials who we've got for that. Happy New Year to everybody. Happy New Year, John. Happy New Year, Fifey.
Happy New Year.
And we will see everybody next week. Take care.
See ya.
Bye.
Thank you.